What's up, guys? DLE Kamel here, and to my surprise, just now the new mini box Idea of Armageddon has been announced, and it is going to release on the same day as the Akaba Reiji Unlock event, the 21st. Now, while the box and the event will be coming out on the same day, the character will most likely be time gated a couple days, as they usually do with events. So this box, we're supposed to be seeing most of the DDD support that we're going to be using on release with Akaba Reiji here. So let's get into it. UR cards. First, we have Beast Eyes, Pendulum Dragon. One Dark Dragon type monster plus one Beast type monster must either be fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing the above cards you control. So you either fusion summon it with Poly, or you special summon it by tributing the materials, which is any Dark Dragon and one Beast, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If this card destroys a monster by battle, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of the Beast type fusion material used for this card's summon. I do not really like this card. It seems a little bit too situational, and it doesn't really give you any desirable effect off of summoning it, and it's just really a battle effect. What you really want is your boss monster to get an added bonus effect that really helps out with one of its weaknesses. This guy literally doesn't get anything. You just deal damage equal to the original attack of the beast, and whatever the beast you choose is probably a weak Performapal, so it's probably not going to be that strong anyway. So I don't love this card. Next, DDD Doomking Armageddon. This is a level 8 scale 4 feed pendulum. Pendulum effect: once per turn, you can target one DD monster you control. It gains 800 attack until the end of this turn, even if it leaves the field. So, alright, whatever. Once per turn, if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one of those monsters. This card gains attack equal to that monster's original attack until the end of this turn. This card cannot attack your opponent directly during the turn this effect is activated. Cannot be destroyed by spell trap effects that do not target this card. Okay, so this is Akaba Reiji's ace monster, I do believe. However, its effect is a little bit situational to me still. This is like this is an OTK, really battle-oriented pendulum monster. And it's focused on getting attack, making sure you're able to swing over or end the duel. Again, we're not seeing, effects like removal, monster negation here with a boss monster like this, which is okay. We're just gonna have to see what else we get. This is used in part with his skill very well. You're supposed to, send this off, then you send it to the extra deck face up so you can resummon it with your pendulums. It is a pendulum monster, and so you should be able to summon it pretty regularly. It's a level 8, so I'm sure the DD scales that we'll read later will let you pendulum summon that reliably. But this is just, if a monster is destroyed by battle or card effect, you gain the attack. And that's it. It cannot be destroyed by spells and traps that do not target it. Okay. So next, final UR. Okay, interesting. This is Crystal Keeper. There's a different crystal down there. I got confused. Crystal Keeper. Pendulum effect: each turn, the first time an ultimate crystal monster and or crystal beast card you control would be destroyed by a card effect that turn, it is not destroyed. Now, okay, whatever, your Crystal Beast or Crystal Beast cards usually not getting destroyed. You're sending with Crystal Gathering, so I'm not sure what you are destroying. I guess it's just, if your opponent destroys them, they're protected. If a Crystal Beast monster you control battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation, quick effect: you can tribute this card from your hand or face up from the field. Your battling monster's attack and defense become double its original attack defense during that damage calculation only, but it is destroyed at the end of this damage step. Okay, so this is pretty nice. Your Crystal Beast monster battles, you send this from the hand, and then you do win the battle, but your Crystal Beast monster is destroyed. But because it's a Crystal Beast, it's sent to the spell and trap card zone instead for you to use later with a different effect, probably your Crystal Gathering. Crystal Beast decks, this card is pretty darn good. Crystal Beast decks are really one-dimensional, relying on Crystal Gathering now. This should open up use for some more plays. Not too much else on them. Alright, now for the SRs. We got some really interesting ones here. We got Contrast Hero Chaos. Wow, hero card. 2 masked hero monsters, fusion, not a masked hero. This card is always treated as an elemental hero card, must be fusion summoned, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. While face up on the field, this card is also light attribute. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can target 1 face-up card on the field, negate that target's effects until the end of this turn. So this says face-up card, so you could be negating a face-up monster, spell, or trap, and you should be able to negate face-up pendulum scales that have active effects. Now, I don't think you negating the effects negates them as a pendulum scale. They should still be able to function as that, but any active effect that scale had while it was on the field will be negated. So this is something that heroes desperately needed. Heroes don't have any quick effects on their opponent's turn, let alone monster or card negation. These are 2 things that heroes needed desperately, and this is going to be a far better monster to bring out on turn 1 than Vision Hero Adoration, especially because, this is interesting. It does require 2 masked hero monsters. I did gloss over that. So you will not be able to summon this off of regular heroes. You'll have to utilize monsters that you turn into masked heroes first in order to bring this out, because you will need the masked heroes in play. Either, they'll have to be on the field. We'll be able to just fuse them from the extra deck. So while this card does have some very, very good effects for the hero deck, its summoning cost is pretty hefty. 2 masked heroes. Just thinking, the easiest masked hero to bring out right now is Anki at 3 with Dark Heroes. It's what you play the most of in the hero deck, so that is going to be strange for sure. Next, we have Rune-eyes Pendulum Dragon. This is a dragon fusion requiring Odd-eyes Pendulum Dragon and 1 spellcaster. This is the better fusion, I do believe. If this card was fusion summoned using a pendulum summoned monster on the field as fusion material, it is unaffected by your opponent's card effects this turn. That is very good. Either material can be pendulum summoned and have it gain this effect, the spellcaster or Odd Eyes. Apply the appropriate effect depending on the original level of the monster used as fusion material that was not Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Alright, so this is talking about your spellcaster. If it is a level 4 or lower, this card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase, and if the spellcaster is level 5 or higher, this card can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. So this card is very, very nice, especially if you are pendulum summoning frequently. Having this, being able to bring this out and have it non-targetable 3000 attack point beater that, if possible, will be able to attack all your opponent's monsters twice, which will be sick. Of course, not too much on the end of disruption effects, but this is this is a very safe, stable boss monster. Has that effect. It's unaffected by all opponent's card effects, not just targeting. So, very, very safe monster to go into here at 3000. It's going to depend on the spellcaster you go into, of course, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. So next, finally, some more DDDs. We have DD Savant Newton. This is a level 7 ranked scale 10 pendulum monster. Pendulum effect. You cannot pendulum summon monsters except DD monsters. This effect cannot be negated. Once, while this card is in your pendulum zone, you can negate an activated trap effect that would inflict damage to you, then destroy this card. So this is would most commonly be used if you are using Dark Contract with the Witch, which is the best DDD continuous trap. Of course, if there are some other ones that become playable, you'll be able to negate your 1000 effect damage in your standby phase with this. However, you will have to destroy the card in order to negate that damage. Its monster effect. You can discard this card, then target 1 DD or Dark Contract card in your graveyard, accept this card, and add it to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Now that is a pretty neato recovery effect, especially DDDs. If you are having trouble seeing certain monsters, being able to get back that reliable material that you sent to the grave that you're able to make multiple extra deck monsters off of is very good. Being forced to send off something like a Night Howl, a Typhon, or a Swirl Slime would be devastating if you're unable to see other resources. So Savant Newton, discarding this card alone, no other card, and then getting that card back would be pretty huge. So I like this. Next, we have DD Orthros. It's Pendulum, but this is a level 4, scale 3. Pendulum effect. Once per turn, you can target one spell trap card on the field and one other DD or Dark Contract card you control. Destroy them. So any spell and trap your opponent controls, pop it, and you pop any DD or Dark Contract. That can be a monster or a Pendulum Scale or a continuous spell or trap. Very versatile there. I'm not sure. I guess this will be good for removing Necro Valleys specifically, or any other scales you are worried about your opponent having for multiple turns. It's a regular effect. When you take battle or effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned to your field, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except fiend monsters, which shouldn't be a problem. All the DDs are fiends, right? Yeah, they're all fiends, so you should be fine summoning this guy to the field. I suppose summoning to the field would be good if you want to tribute summon out a DDD, or because getting the monsters out on the field, you don't necessarily need the materials on the field to fusion summon. So, I guess just having it out for defense or tribute summon would be good. So, yeah. Next, we've got the SR Crystal Master. This is the next Crystal Beast card. Your opponent cannot target ultimate crystal monsters or Crystal Beast cards you control with card effects. Whoa, that is a massive effect. Just no targeting at all as long as it's in the Pendulum Zone. This is a level 3, scale 5, by the way. Monster effect. You contribute this card, add one ultimate crystal monster, Crystal Beast monster, or crystal spell trap card from your deck to your hand. This card is insane. However, it is a normal summon. Crystal Beasts right now don't have a way to speed up, summon multiple stuff per turn. Just spamming stuff. So this will eat up your normal summon for the turn. So you'll have to find out another way to get out a Crystal Beast by normal. And if you're going for your power play with Crystal Gathering as well, you will not have Crystal Beasts in play if you start with this card alone. You'll have to play some Crystal Beasts first, let them exist on the field, or have them get destroyed, then play Crystal Master, and then be able to capitalize off of it. But this card is huge for the Crystal Beast archetype. It's really good. Alright. Next, DD Savant Kepler. This was in the little showcase. Pendulum effect. You cannot Pendulum summon except DDD monsters. This effect cannot be negated. Once per turn during your standby phase, reduce this card's Pendulum scale by 2, minimum 1. Then destroy all monsters you control with a level greater than or equal to this card's Pendulum scale, except DD monsters. So you can lower this by 2 every turn. So it can go from 10 to 8 one turn, then 8 to 6 another turn. And then destroy all monsters you control with a greater or equal level than that card's Pendulum scale. So at first, this is going to be popping a lot of your big DDDs, any monsters that you tribute summon for, or fusion monsters, or fusion monsters that you want to get rid of, I suppose. Let me know what you guys think the real benefit to destroying your big DDD monsters will be, but that's pretty much what that guy's Pendulum effect does. And then when this card is normal or special summon, you can activate one of these effects. You can only use this effect of DD Savant Kepler once. Target one other DD card you control, return it to the hand, or add one Dark Contract card from your deck to your hand. Whoa, Dark Contract card from your deck to your hand? That's pretty good. Dark Contract with a swamp is a fusion summon, and Dark Contract with a gate is a search, and the Witch is a pop once per turn. So this is a pretty powerful card. Just normal summon, and you get to search a Dark Contract of your choice. That is pretty nice, to be honest. Okay, next. Performapal Trump Witch. This is a level 1, scale 4, spellcaster Pendulum. Pendulum effect once per turn. You can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control as fusion material. Monster effect. You contribute this card, add one polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Okay, so you can fusion summon without using polymerization using monsters you control. So they would have to be in your monster zones, not your Pendulum zones. And that is a given that this card will not be the spellcaster that you use for the material of Rune-eyes Pendulum Dragon, since that is the monster that you will most likely be summoning with this. So you're going to need another spellcaster. Probably another Performapal will be a spellcaster. And you can fuse straight up from your field if this is in the Pendulum Zone. Or you can tribute it for Poly. I think you're definitely going to want to put that in the Pendulum Zone more often than not. Alright. Next, we've got Destiny Hero Dreadmaster. This is a pretty old card that has been in the game for a while, but we have not got access to it. If this card is special summoned by Clock Tower Prison, destroy all monsters you control except Destiny Hero monsters. Also, after that, you can special summon up to 2 Destiny Hero monsters from your graveyard. After this card is special summoned for the rest of the turn, Destiny Hero monsters you control cannot be destroyed. Also, you take no battle damage when they battle. The attack defense of this card are equal to the combined attack of all other Destiny Heroes. So this is going to work in tandem with Clock Tower Prison for sure. So I guess we'll go all deeper into that when we read this. This is just a field spell. Once returned during your opponent's standby phase, place 1 clock counter on it. While there are 4 clock counters, you do not take battle damage. If this card with 4 clock counters is destroyed, sent to the graveyard, special summon a Dreadmaster. So this is a real anime gimmick. I don't think you're ever going to get out Dreadmaster via Clock Tower Prison's effect. Otherwise, you're going to have to normal summon it via 2 tributes, and which you can special summon the 2 Destiny Hero monsters that you use for the tribute right back from the graveyard, since they will be in there. Okay, next we've got Performapal Secondonkey. So Performapal Secondonkey, this is a normal effect monster, not a pendulum. Okay, Earth level 4. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can send 1 Performapal monster from your deck to the graveyard, except this, if you have 2 cards in your Pendulum Zones, you can add it to your hand instead. Alright, that's pretty nuts. If you already have your Pendulum Zones set up, you get a Performapal search. And you can even search the new Performapal Trump Witch. Now, if you do have the Trump Witch already, this card is pretty good because any Performapal, even if it's a spellcaster or whatever, if it's in your deck, you can search it out, and right away you're going to have those materials for the Rune-eyes Pendulum Dragon. And if you've got the right skills, you're going to be able to Pendulum summon out the materials onto the field right away, and then fusion summon with Performapal Trump Witch. So this is a really good card that Performapals needed. Very nice. It's going to make summoning the Odd-eyes boss monsters much easier. Alright. Last SR. Fuba Wave. Target 1 face-up monster on the field, destroy 1 monster on the field with the same attribute but a different name as that monster. Okay, so this is a little strange. Same attribute, different name. I guess it's going to be a good side deck option against, you know, decks like Harpies or even DDD, since they're all going to be dark, you know. Just think about it like that. It's going to be Harpies, they're all win, it's going to work. DDD, they're all dark, it's going to work. Any other place where we're all the same attribute, this will work. It's a pretty cool gimmick card if you happen to pick it up. Okay, so that's all the URs and SRs. Now I want to try to break down some of the, just the main 2 archetypes that got support in this box, which are Performapal and DDD. So we'll start by reading the rest of the supporting DDD cards, and then we'll move over to the Performapal ones. So the first one we have here is DDD, Marksman King Tell. This is a rare, dark, rank 5 Xyz monster, and it requires 2 level 5 monsters. You can only Xyz summon this card by using a rank 4 DDD Xyz monster you control as the Xyz material. Boom, so it's only summonable by rank up Xyz change. Xyz materials attached to that monster also become Xyz materials on this card. Once per turn during either player's turn, if you took any effect damage this turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 face-up monster on the field. It loses 1000 attack and defense. And if it does, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send 1 DD or Dark Contract card from your deck to the graveyard. Okay, so we're going to have to find out what is the rank 4 Xyz you're summoning this guy with. I honestly don't see one in this box. Like, I'm not high or anything, dude. There's no rank 4 DDD Xyz monsters in this box, which means in Declan Akaba's level up rewards, or his drop rewards, there will have to be a rank 4 DDD Xyz monster because there are none here. I mean, I'm not tripping. Yeah. Okay, so the first part of its effect is solely based on effect damage. So you won't be taking effect damage on your opponent's turn unless they just, you know, are playing an effect damage deck. But on your own turn, your own standby phase, you can target a face-up monster, it will lose 1,000 and then inflict 1,000 to your opponent. Whatever, you're going to be wanting to dodge that effect damage most of the time, but if you absolutely have to take it, I suppose you go into Marksman King Tell beforehand. I don't know how good this is as opposed to going for Oracle King Dark and healing the effect damage instead. We'll have to see how much trouble this guy is to actually get out. Oh, excuse me here. I'm smoking crack, dude. It says you can also Xyz summon this card by using, not you can only. So you can also. So level 5 DDDs will be usable to summon this guy. What level 5 DDD you're going to use? I do not know. Okay, so we also got this guy here. DDD Super Sight King Zero Maxwell. Level 7. Scale 4. Pendulum effect, let's read it. It's got 2800 attack and 2500 defense. You can target one face-up monster on the field, change its defense to 0 until the end of this turn. You can only use this effect of DDD. Okay, change its defense to 0. That's it. That's its pendulum effect. Okay. One monster effect before damage calculation. If this card attacked an opponent's defense position monster, you can change the defense of the opponent's monster to 0 until the end of the damage step. If this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. You take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. Wow, this is going to be really good against Melodious specifically. Its pendulum effect is kind of iffy, just making anything face up defense 0. Your opponent's likely not going to have monsters with 3,000 defense to, you know, wall this guy off anyway. But you being able to take out defense position monsters that have really safe effects like the Bloom Diva and, you know, the Saber Dancer is going to be pretty nice. Just straight up reducing it to 0. Yeah, that's all I have to say about this guy. He's going to be 2 tributes or a Pendulum summon. And you'll be able to Pendulum summon. He's a level 7 with your Savant Kepler and any of these guys really will be able to bring him out. Savant Kepler and DD Orthros or the Doomking Armageddon. You can use any of them as scales, so they'll all work to bring this guy out. Alright, next. DDDs. What else we got here? I believe we just have this guy. DD Lilith. Alright, so this is a Dark level 4 Fiend. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate one of these effects. You can only use this effect of DD Lilith once per turn. Target one DD monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Okay, sorry about that. I forgot to turn my stream alerts off. Okay, so this gets its effect on normal or special summon. And dude, this is a great DD searcher, dude. Target a DD in your graveyard, add it back. Add one face-up DD Pendulum monster from your... Oh, okay, so I kind of read this a little too fast. Add one DD Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. So already used DD Pendulum monster that was destroyed, you can bring it back to your hand. Or any DD monster that you've already used or discarded from the graveyard to your hand. So, pretty nice. Again, this is also going to be good at retrieving your other... DD monsters like Savant Kepler, Net Swirl Slime, you know, the Vice Typhon, stuff like that. And yeah, not too. You definitely don't want to open this card, so I don't know if you want to run 3 of it. It seems very situational, so yeah. But it does give you some good recovery for the late game. Okay, so let's see if there are any. Oh, there should be some Dark Contract. There's no Dark Contract? Yes, there is. Alright, what's this? Dark Contract with the Yami Makai. Alright, continuous spell. Once per turn during your standby phase. Take 1000 damage. You can only use one of the following effects of Dark Contract with the Yami Makai per turn and only once that turn. During your main phase, you can target one DD Pendulum monster in your graveyard, place it in your Pendulum zone. During your main phase, you can place one DD Pendulum monster from your extra deck in your Pendulum zone. Alright, now I'm wondering, how do you get a DD Pendulum monster in your graveyard? Don't they go to the extra deck after they're destroyed? I mean, guess maybe if you send one to the grave, they don't go to the extra deck, right? They go to the graveyard. During your main phase, you can target one face-up DD Pendulum monster in your extra deck and from your extra deck in your Pendulum zone. So this card is all about getting your DDs back after they've been destroyed or used up as material. So a lot more recovery options for DD. This is what is evidently being added. Yami Makai getting you your Pendulum monsters back from the grave or the extra deck. DD Lilith essentially doing the same, getting your Pendulum monsters back from the extra deck, getting your DDs back from the grave. Very nice. A lot of these DDD cards are centered around consistency and you having recovery, so you're able to get more rolling in the late game, which is a problem that DDDs have had. They have not been able to keep steady momentum towards the end of a duel, so this should allow them to do that. So I do believe, oh wow, these are not reprints down here. What? These are, okay, a couple of these are reprints, but a lot of these are not reprints, dude. What? Okay, there is significantly less reprints in this box than there are in other boxes. Very nice, I love that. So the last DDD card that we have to go over is this one, DDD Contract Change. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, activate one of these effects. Banish one DDD monster from your graveyard. If you do, the attacking monster loses attack equal to the banished monster's attack. Or you can add one level 4 or lower DD Pendulum monster from your deck to your hand, and that's only when a opponent's monster declares an attack. So I don't know if you want to be running this in a 20-card deck. It's a little bit too situational. It is a battle trap, and it is not one that affects the state of your battle, so to speak. Okay, so let's read these Performapal cards really quick. And yeah, then we will call it a video and give my final thoughts, and then we'll call it. Performapal King Bear. Once returned during the end phase of this card was activated with this turn, you can destroy this card. And if you do, add one level 7 or higher monster to your hand. That is either in your graveyard or face up in your extra deck. Okay, so this will get you odd eyes from graveyard or extra deck, not from the deck, so it's not amazing. Cannot be destroyed by spell and trap card effects while this face up in attack position. This card gains 100 attack for each Performapal monster you control during your battle phase only. So I guess would be cool to Pendulum summon out, but this card is just kind of lacking overall, I believe. Next we have Performapal Splash Mammoth. Level 6, Scale 4, Pendulum effect. Once per turn, when a fusion monster is special summoned to your side of the field, you can special summon one Odd-Eyes Pendulum monster from your extra deck. Okay, so this is expecting you to bring out the Beast Odd-Eyes. However, this has to be in the Pendulum scale for you to get its effect, so you cannot use this as your Beast material. You'd have to use something else, like King Bear. And what does this guy say? He says it must be fusion summoned or special summoned by tributing the above cards. So yeah, Pendulum summoning out your high level beast, because all I see are high level beasts so far, except for Secondonkey. So you can special summon one face up Odd Eyes Pendulum monster from your extra deck as well. So you'll be able to get out Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon if it is in your Pendulum, if it is in your extra deck, right? If you use it as a fusion material, it should be sent to the graveyard, right? So you need another one to special summon from your extra deck. Monster effect. During your main phase, you can fusion summon one dragon type fusion monster from your extra deck. Using monsters you control as fusion materials, you can use this effect of Performapal Splash Mammoth once per duel. Okay, so this is an instant fusion for the Beast Odd Eyes Beast Dragon. Beast Eyes. And you can fusion one dragon type from your extra deck using monsters you control. And this just says one dragon type fusion monster, so you can get pretty creative with this, but you will likely be using this with Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon. It is a once per duel effect as this monster effect, so you will not be able to spam that. Trump Witch, however, is not once per duel, so keep that in mind. This is Trump Witch is not. We got a generic. We got a normal scale 2, level 5 monster. Sure, buddy. Nice. Next, we have Performapal Gold Fang, level 4, scale 3, once per turn. If your Performapal monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, inflict 1,000. What? Is that going to get cut in half for Duel Links, dude? Inflict 1,000? I don't know. Monster effect. If this card is normal or special summon, all Performapal monsters you currently control gain 200. Yeah, this is garbage. Performapal Trump Girl. This is a Pendulum. Whoa, this is a Pendulum monster that does not have a Pendulum effect, just a monster effect. Okay, nice. Level 2, scale 4. Once per turn, you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck by using monsters you control as fusion materials, including this card. If this card in the Pendulum zone is destroyed, you can target one Dragon-type fusion monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but destroy it during the end phase. So, whoa. If you put this in the Pendulum zone and you destroy it or your opponent, you can get your Beast-eyes, or excuse me, your Rune-eyes, since that's what you're going to be using with this, since it is a spellcaster, back for free. And then you can special summon, you can fusion summon for your Rune-eyes with this card. Unlimited times per duel. It does not say once per duel like Splash Mammoth. And yeah, this will be super. This card will make it super easy to capitalize off of Odd-Eyes' effect. You know, if it's fusion summon using a Pendulum summoned monster, this guy is super easy to Pendulum summon. He is level 2 as long as you have the right scales. Once again, this guy will be very easy to bring out with all of his effects. It seems like Rune-eyes will be. Okay. I think that's it. The Destiny Hero support is not blowing me away here. It's kind of just Clock Tower cheese, and Clock Tower stuff is not very good, dude. It's a field spell. It can be removed from the field before it gets all the counters. It's just not something you really want to rely on. So my thoughts on this box, I'm gonna say the DDD support in this box is pretty interesting. We have some options for late game support for DDDs, which they were lacking significantly. They did not have, you know, late game, you know, resource management. It was hard for them to, you know, keep having access to, you know, DD monsters from their deck. They often had to reuse their materials and make use of stuff like Vice Typhon and Necros and Swirl Slime continuously. However, I don't think on the extra deck side of things, we did not get so many powerful DDD extra deck monsters, which I was kind of looking forward to. Where now we're going to have to depend on Akama Reiji's event drops and his level up rewards to see if he will have some better DDD extra deck monsters. I assume he's going to have a rank 4 Xyz monster for just because of the card text of Marksman King Tell. Doomking Armageddon is cool, but he is a battle monster. Straight up 100%. He doesn't like destroy nothing. He doesn't negate. He is just all about battle. So are these other DDDs. They are just kind of helping you get out your extra deck monsters, searching you DDs, searching you dark contracts. So this is all nice, but I'm gonna need to see the DDD power cards that come along with this character, unless they're just assuming they're just, you know, expecting us to use the stuff we've already got. I would like some more DDD boss monsters. I don't think I read this guy, did I? Performapal Gatling Ghoul? Fiend is a fiend though, so if it's fusion summon, you can inflict 200 to your opponent for each card on the field. Then if it was this card's fusion summon using a Pendulum monster, you can destroy one card your opponent controls and inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. Pretty interesting. Performapal monster plus a level 5 or higher dark, so that should not be too hard to get out when you are playing Performapals. This is honestly a better fusion. I think it's honestly a better fusion than Beast-eyes, and it might be better than Rune-eyes in most situations. 200 for each card on the field if there is a stacked field. Of course, you don't want to be using this when there's back row out. I mean, you will still get the effect, so, you know, it will be that make for some nice effect damage. And then if it was fusion summon using a Pendulum monster, you destroy. So both of these effects happen on summon. Neither of them are just neither of them are ignition, which is very good. This might be the best Performapal Fusion Monster. Honestly, its effects is kind of better than both these guys. It actually has built-in destruction, which is more than I can say for just about any other card in this box. Okay, so thoughts on Performapal? They did definitely get some powerful options. I'm not too hype about Beast Eyes, but Rune-eyes is pretty good. It can straight up just not be targeted, and a lot of these supporting Performapals make bringing out your fusion monsters now very, very easy. Performapal Secondonkey is massive, dude. Just straight up search any Performapal to your hand if you have Pendulum Zones, which you should have Pendulum Zones, which means, you know, if you have Pendulum Zones, you're setting up for your play. If you don't have Pendulums, setup this card is a little bit less good. You have to send a card to send your Performapal monster to the graveyard instead, which is not ideal. But for a first mini box, I think this is pretty darn good. We got a lot of support for the two main anime archetypes. Of course, to see whether the DDD support is sufficient enough, we're gonna have to see what we get with Akaba Reiji, because we definitely have some really cool supporting cards for DDD, but we need those boss monsters, man. We need those boss monsters to see how viable the new version of this deck is going to be, because I don't believe playing the old fusion monsters is going to cut it. They are just a little too slow. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. This has been Idea of Armageddon first look box review. Stay tuned during the rest of the week for DDDs, Akaba Reiji, and new box reviews from everyone at DLE. Peace out, guys. See you later.